Muhammad-Newark.org. We're honored to be here again with a special guest with some great news. If you all may have heard, our dear sister Amina Bay, who has returned as the elect for the Central Ward of Newark Council seat. Takbir, Takbir, Takbir. So we're just going to get an update, let her give any views she'd like to give, let us know how she's feeling, and then inshallah we'll go into a little conversation. And then we also want to charge you who are watching us and listening, what is our responsibility, right? Allah has allowed us the victory. We're now in the place to be. What is our responsibility as supporters, as citizens of getting engaged? So inshallah, I'll allow you again to welcome you as
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. This has been overwhelming in a good way. I think Allah so much has been so incredibly merciful to me individually, to us as a community, to my family. So glad I got my mother here for Junior Bay. Got the queen mother in the house, in the audience. But as I said earlier, I just want to I want to thank you. I want to thank Mayor. I want to thank the community for the support. The outpouring of love and support has been amazing. And I feel like there's a resurgence of civic engagement for us that we need. As I said before, and I said this a couple of times, that you can't get elected door catcher in this town unless you hit certain churches and meet with certain ministers. The same should be true for the Muslim community. No one should be able to say that they're going to represent our community and not come through us. And so for me to be the very first Muslim to be elected to municipal council, that's a huge thing, and it's not lost on me, and it's a huge responsibility that keeps reminding me. But one of my responsibilities really is to make sure that we as a Muslim community, that we want purpose and power, and that we utilize and exercise it. We have the numbers, we have the buying power, we have the education, the stability that's required to move our community forward. We just need to move as a collective. And we're not it's okay. But when it comes to making sure that we have the power that we have and utilize it for the good for the benefit of the community, that's our responsibility. We can't sit on the side of the it's just that you come from behind and the in the community, and I appreciate that I'm Muhammad constantly doing in the community and doing a service because the best way to serve God is to serve humanity. So we need to make sure that we do that in a very intentional and focused way.
So you're called the advocate.
Yes, I am the advocate.
Let's talk about some of the things that you advocate for, now that you're in the seat. Well, you've been there already, obviously, and now you're able to
Yes, so one of the things that I'm really appreciative of with this opportunity is to it allows me to explore what I've already been doing. So some of my really target projects is their food insecurity and housing insecurity. This really been my focus. It's been my focus. Something that we've been really an issue in the community, but really things like in a really in a very enormous way during COVID, that we realize something about people something because whether it's a lack of employment opportunities, people are working and still having to and food, and of course being able to gouge people with enormous rent and prices and really not paying attention to what's happening in our community because we've been so quiet. And we have to remember that we have to raise money back. And we have to be intentional because the Muslim community, we are very we do not private private. We don't like to tell people we don't like to tell people we're in trouble. We'll work it out. But the thing is that community is about. Community is about lifting each other, motivating each other, holding each other together, but also holding each other accountable. because we can't say that we work for other people because we work for ourselves, but we don't see the suffer and then, so we have to, be more active, be more, be more of people action, which happened for me in this campaign because I saw people who I hadn't seen in years come out, come out to my events and not get put out the fundraisers, the campaigns, and they knocked on doors, they walked with me, they phone banked for me, outpouring of love and support is just something that I hoped for, but I didn't even realize that it was going to be as great as it was, and it's really what we're doing inside.
And saying that in light of that, the social and economic planning that we're in regards to lack of jobs, what are some of the initiatives that you would like to, I guess, initiate on managing this position?
Well, so many different things. As you know, that I used to be the executive director of the North Workforce Development Board. And so one of the things that I want to do is to go back into having conversations with the local businesses and specifically the anchor institutions to make sure that they are providing employment opportunities for Northers. You shouldn't have to travel. This is the largest city in the state of New Jersey, but less than 20% of the people who work in Newark are actually Newark residents. And that shouldn't be. And so to make sure that they know and understand the benefits of hiring Northers, like the payroll tax credit, making sure that Northers have the information that they need to make decisions about how they want to live in the city, regarding, tax, that there's tax abatements available for homeowners. It's not just for large corporations and businesses. So those are the things that really about providing information and resources to the community because you don't know what you don't know.
So, I mean, in light of that, just the last thing in regards to initiatives, I know you mentioned beforehand about your civic engagement project. How's that coming along?
Excuse me. Yes. So we started a civic association, a Muhammad-Newark Civic Association, and through that association, we are launching a youth civic engagement program that is going to be the Frederica Bay Civic Engagement Institute. Academy. Yes. And so, so we're looking forward to doing that, and really because again, in the city of Newark and our beloved Congresswoman Lamika McIver, who was the councilwoman from the Central Ward, she set the initiative and put the ordinance in and put it in place, the law that now 16 and 17-year-olds can vote in the Newark School Board election. So we need to create education around that, to educate them on what that means, so what this is about. What does it mean to be an engaged voter? What is social action about? And so that's what we want to do with the academy through the Muhammad-Newark Civic Association.
Excellent. We're looking to support you when we can.
Thank you.
I'm trying to see where my young people at from their connection, but they're not ready yet. So I'll give one more question.
Yes.
Well, being as the first Muslim actually elected for Congress,
no, there's Dawn Hayes. She was elected to the school board, and Kalina is on the school board. Yes.
Okay.
So just for the council. Yes.
So as the first Muslim council member elected, how do you hope that your leadership will influence inclusivity as well as representation of other minority communities?
The thing is that when we come together for events and everything, there's a slew of Christian ministers and people who we love and have great relationships with, and they go to like one event, so it's like there's so many of us. So these are the things that we need to have a little bit more. We need to balance this out a little bit more, and then also we want to understand that there are things that are very specific to the community that need to be brought to the administration and to be brought up. Even when things are, I don't say tight, but just a push and a challenge, trying to make sure that we get, they want on not brought to forefront. Making sure that we have information and resources about opening up our businesses and giving permits to expand, to expand our religious institutions, through the construction and our school systems, and making sure that our children who are in North Public Schools, that there is, some type of training and around the religious and cultural aspect and culture being African American in this community that needs to be translated to those students. Everything from what's going on in the classroom, and as well as the food that they're providing. All of those things matter, and there's someone speaking up on their behalf and being their advocate in their life. And so, in light of everything that's going on, everything that we all that is, not only the best of the self-fulfillment, what is our obligation? What do you want to charge? So one of the things that we've been having these conversations, 18 months. It's been a long, arduous process. We need to start we need to collect data. We need to have a list. We need to have information that says how many registered influence we have in the city of Newark, in the Central Ward, in the other wards, who's there. We need to have information. There are other groups that if there's an issue that they want to learn about, they have a database. They put it up and you get a mass text. Vote for this, don't vote for that, support this, boycott that. We don't have that. And it's too many of us not to have it. And so we have these groups and collectives that we need to work together. And every time we come together, we need to galvanize, we need to organize, we need to capture information and create a Muslim database so we can, how many Muslim youth do we have in North Public Schools? How many, Muslim youth are of the age now that they can vote in North? 16 to 17 years old. How many Muslim seniors do we have in senior buildings that we need to talk to about it? They can have access to health care and children getting, meals that they can eat and things of that nature. So we need to be able to capture information and we need to start there.
You all heard it here. We did here. The importance of us being active ourselves, but also to get the system, data, serve us. One thing to have representation, but you also need the action. So we also been charged to do the action, and inshallah here at our match and other matches, we will take heed of that. Also our business people, our educators, our people in culture, all of those things are important. So before we close out, I think my guy is back for his commercial. Come on up. Make sure he's going to do his infomercial, and inshallah we'll continue afterwards. Inshallah. Give him a second. One. Don't worry about this. It's okay. Yes, you do better.
Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Naisham Sankofa. So today we have the two detergent. See, it's heavy duty liquid laundry detergent, $20. It removes dirt, brighten fabrics, and leave a fresh, clean set after. And you can clean 101 loads of clothes. And then we have the news book Treasure Under the Wall, which is $50. And we have the Muslim Journal, which is for $3. Read and get some knowledge. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, beloved. All right. So as we close this episode of Community Conversation, we want to know in regards to, as we close this episode of Community Conversations, we just want to, of course, continue to pray for you, continue to ask Allah to give you the insights and the guidance and protection to be successful, as you are not just represent us, you represent your family and your own interests as well. Allah has blessed all of us to have our own interests. He says, strive within a race towards all that is good, right? And so we should support each other in the best of what we're trying to do. So my last question in regards to the seat in the Central Ward, it being one of the most, I guess, business populated ward, how can we get more business representation in that district as well to support the community?
So that's one of the things that I'm going to concentrate on. One of the first things I want to do is first acknowledge the businesses that are already there and make sure that they have the proper supports. Like we have Halal Meats, we have Unity Beef, we have Akbar Salam. 50 years in business in the Central Ward. You know, I've never known him not to be there. We need to celebrate that. We need to make sure that he has the proper supports. So the first thing we're doing is putting together a business resource guide, especially for small independent businesses, because they don't have the wherewithal like these large corporations to be able to navigate and have so many different people working on so many different things and have the money to just kind of wait around. And so to be able to provide those supports to people and just put out a call, you know, who's looking to open up a business? This is what we have going on. This is the process, and make it easy for our people, because it doesn't have to be difficult, you know, but we have to be transparent about the process and make it easy for our people.
Excellent. So you heard it here again. We're honored to be here with you again. You're welcome anytime, of course, to have our community conversations. We look forward to you all joining us. We'll actually be in the Central Ward next month for our 21st annual Time to Be Grateful banquet from December 11th through the 14th. So we're honored to be in your district live.
And I'll be there.
Absolutely. And we also invite you all to join us here on Fridays, and we also have our classes throughout the week. So stay tuned by checking us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and on our website, www.masjidmuhammad-Newark.org. We'll have one of our young brothers close us out.
Come on, hurry up. You! Hurry up.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad-Newark. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين.
Oh, okay.
Now, in concluding this, when the slave traders and the black traders of Africa, traitors, different, traitors, when the slave traders and the traitors of Africa called themselves Muslims, were fighting each other and carrying on and weakening their people over there so that the white traders come in there and get us, take us on slave ships and bring us here. Now, all right? Yeah. So now, when all that happened, what you think was happening to our human soul? Let me tell you, God has given me an eye to see into the very abstract form of the human being by my study of the Quran. Yes. Now, I'm going to tell you what was happening. I know, as if I was there. The soul of those victims had given up on this world. They knew they were going to their death. They knew they were going to circumstances that were going to finish them off. They would never have their lives again. They knew that. But in their soul, they were saying, our children will one day be free again, and they will serve God. We have failed, but our children will one day serve God. And now their prayer that they prayed in the deep recesses of their soul has come true. And not only of the descendants of the black people of Africa, from Islam, coming to Islam, taking up the divine cause, but those who never were Muslims, their children from Christianity, their children from Judaism, their children from paganism, are embracing Islam in America. And we are going to build New Africa. New Africa, right here in the United States. Allahu Akbar. And the soul of those suffering victims, they're rejoicing because of us here today.